Auto industry is in quick change mode these days, trying to cope with a whole new universe of demands. Customers.
If you don't need to connect your phone to your car, don't do it. Or if you don't need to use your radio channel that you were listening to at home from your phone, you want to do that same thing in your car. Try not to do this. Compartmentalize.
There is a hidden kill switch already in your car. And if you think that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, you are already behind. Derek thought the same thing. He walked out to his 2023 Chevy Silverado on a perfectly normal Wednesday morning, turned the key, and got absolutely nothing. Not a dead battery, not a blown fuse. The truck was mechanically fine. Something buried deep inside it had received a signal and made a decision. Derek wasn't going anywhere. No police officer showed up. No court ordered it. No one called him. A system he never knew existed, in a vehicle he was still making payments on, decided his morning was over before it started. And here is the part that should stop you cold. This was not a glitch. This was not an accident. This is the system working exactly as designed. There is a law already passed, already funded, already moving, that is about to put that same power inside every single new car on every lot in America. You did not vote for it. You were not asked. And the clock is already running. So before you walk into any dealership, before you sign anything, before you hand over $1, you need to ask yourself one question. Who actually controls the car you are about to buy? The law that changed everything did not arrive with a press conference. It did not lead the evening news. It was buried inside a nearly 2,700-page bill that almost nobody in America actually read. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, signed into law in 2021, a $1.2 trillion piece of legislation sold to the public as a roads and bridges package. And tucked inside it, in Section 24,220, was a mandate that will affect every single driver in this country, whether they ever heard of it or not. The language was chosen carefully. Advanced Impairment Detection Technology. That is the official name. Say it out loud, and it sounds almost reasonable. Almost protective. Like something designed to keep drunk drivers off the road. That is exactly what it was designed to sound like. Because if Congress had called it what it actually is, a federally required driver surveillance system with the legal authority to prevent your vehicle from operating, there would have been a real debate. Instead, it slid through. One infrastructure bill, one buried section, one permanent change to what it means to own a car in America. Here's what the mandate actually requires. Starting in 2027, every new vehicle sold in the United States must carry technology capable of monitoring the driver and disabling the vehicle based on what that system detects. No exceptions, no opt-outs, no negotiating with the dealership to remove it from the sticker price. If it rolls off a lot after the deadline, it has the system inside it. Full stop. The vote was not close. Dozens of Republicans crossed the aisle. Over 200 Democrats voted in support. Congressman Thomas Massie called it out directly. Scott Perry and Chip Roy pushed back. They were among the very few who read the fine print and said it publicly. One congressional aide familiar with the drafting process put it plainly. The safety framing was the point. If you call it safety, you can move almost anything through committee without serious opposition. The opposition was real. It just wasn't loud enough. What makes this moment different from every other privacy debate of the last decade is the physical consequence. This is not about data being sold to advertisers. This is not about your phone tracking your location. This is about a machine you paid for, insured, and registered in your name, having the legal and technical authority to tell you no. You can sit in the driver's seat with the keys in your hand, the title in your glove box, the payment receipt in your email, and the answer is still no. The system decides, not you. And that decision has already been made for you in Washington. The only thing left is the rollout. Forget everything you think you know about what a kill switch looks like. This is not a repo man with a tow truck. This is not a lender sending a signal because you missed a payment. What is coming is something far more personal than that. It is a camera, pointed directly at your face, every single second you are behind the wheel. The system works like this. Cameras mounted inside the cabin lock onto your eyes, your face, your head position. Sensors track where you are looking, how long your eyes stay open, how often you blink. Software analyzes your behavior in real time, building a picture of your mental and physical state while you drive. And here is the part that goes far beyond drunk driving prevention. The system is not just looking for alcohol. It is looking for fatigue, distraction, stress, emotional agitation, anything the algorithm interprets as a potential risk. You did not sleep well last night. You are anxious about a meeting. You glanced at your mirror one too many times. That is enough. That is all it takes for the system to decide you are not fit to operate the vehicle you are sitting inside. Once that threshold is crossed, your car can refuse to start. Or worse, it can intervene while you are already moving. The warning systems built into current driver monitoring technology are designed to escalate. A beep first, then a visual alert, then, depending on the platform and the implementation, a forced slowdown or a complete disable. A former automotive systems engineer who worked on driver monitoring integration told, "The public conversation focuses on drunk driving. The actual capability of these systems goes much further than that. We built them to flag anything outside a defined behavioral baseline. That baseline is set by the manufacturer." Driver monitoring systems are already embedded in millions of vehicles globally right now. General Motors, Ford, Subaru, Volvo, they are already in the cabin watching. Europe has mandated them ahead of the United States. American automakers are installing them voluntarily in advance of the 2027 federal deadline. This is not theoretical. The next time you sit in a new car at a dealership and adjust the rearview mirror, there is a real possibility. Something behind that mirror is already watching back. In 2017, WikiLeaks released CIA documents revealing the agency had explored the ability to remotely control vehicles. At the time, it landed like a scandal. People were outraged. Congressional members demanded answers. And then it faded. Today, we are legislating that exact capability into every new car sold in America and calling it a public safety initiative. That is not progress. That is rebranding. The camera watching your face is only the beginning. Because every second that system is running, it is doing something else at the same time. It is generating data, enormous amounts of it. And that data does not stay in your car. Every trip you take is a data point. Where you left from, what time you pulled out of the driveway, how long you drove, what route you took, how your behavior scored against the system's baseline, whether any flags were triggered, your location, your patterns, your habits, your biometric readings, all of it logged, all of it transmitted, all of it stored on servers that do not belong to you and are not governed by any privacy framework with real teeth. You are not the owner of that information. You are the source of it. Ford Motor Company has already filed patents that read less like safety documentation and more like a surveillance blueprint. Biometric identification systems that recognize the driver by physical characteristics before the vehicle will operate. Behavioral profiling tools that build a long-term picture of driving habits over time. Integration pathways connecting the vehicle's internal data to external databases. One patent filing described technology capable of cross-referencing driver behavior data with third-party information sources in real time. Ford filed it. It is public record. A technology analyst covering the automotive sector wrote in a 2023 report, The patent portfolio major automakers have assembled around connected vehicle data has almost nothing to do with safety and almost everything to do with monetization. Fleet vehicles are already living inside this reality. Commercial trucks, delivery vehicles, rideshare cars, live driver monitoring feeds running constantly, behavioral data being packaged and sold as a premium analytics product to logistics companies, insurance underwriters, and municipal governments. The pitch to buyers of that data is simple, it is valuable, and it is, to them. The driver generating it sees none of that value and signs away the rights to it in a terms of service document buried inside the vehicle's software agreement. Connect the dots and the picture becomes very clear. The government mandate creates the legal requirement. Automakers build the infrastructure to comply. Data companies step in to monetize the output. By 2030, the connected vehicle data market is projected to exceed $800 billion globally. Your commute, your habits, your face, your behavioral patterns, that is the product being sold. You are just the one paying for the car that produces it. Before we go further, if you want to know exactly which 2025 and 2026 models already carry the most aggressive versions of these monitoring systems, I put together a free ebook called Avoid These 17 Cars in 2026. Link is in the description. Download it before you walk into any dealership. Here is the part that should make every taxpayer in America stop and read it twice. You are not just the target of this system. You are the one paying to build it. Congress has already allocated $45 million specifically for research and development of the impairment detection mandate. That number sounds large until you see the full picture. The Driver Alcohol Detection System for Safety program, they call it DAD-SS, and yes, they love the acronym, has received over $100 million in federal backing. $100 million of taxpayer money funneled into a research program that will ultimately produce technology. Automakers are required by law to install in vehicles they then sell back to the same taxpayers who funded the research. That is not a safety initiative. That is a billing cycle with a government stamp on it. The name deserves a second look. The Driver Alcohol Detection System for Safety program. Every word in that title is doing political work. Driver, alcohol, safety. It frames the entire mandate as a targeted response to drunk driving, a specific problem with a specific solution. What the name does not tell you is that the technology being developed under that program goes far beyond alcohol detection. The behavioral monitoring, the eye tracking, the emotional state analysis, all of it is being developed under the same funding umbrella with the same branding, pointed at a much broader target than the name suggests. A senior transportation policy researcher told Politico in 2023, "The DAD-SS framing was always about making universal monitoring palatable. Alcohol is the entry point, it is not the ceiling." Automakers will comply. They have no choice, it is federal law. But compliance does not come free. Every dollar spent engineering these systems into new vehicles gets recovered the same way every other cost gets recovered in the auto industry. It goes straight onto the sticker price. Estimates from independent automotive economists place the per-vehicle cost of full monitoring system integration between $300 and $1,000, depending on the platform. On top of an average new vehicle price already sitting at nearly $50,000. On top of interest rates that have not meaningfully come down. On top of insurance premiums that keep climbing every single quarter. The quiet part of this equation is the profit margin. Automakers are not absorbing these costs. They are marking them up. A mandatory system becomes a premium feature. A federally required camera becomes a technology package with a price tag attached. Something you never asked for, never voted for, and cannot remove from the vehicle gets bundled into your monthly payment for the next 84 months. The taxpayer funds the research. The buyer funds the rollout. And somewhere in the middle, the machine keeps moving. Every piece of technology fails. Every single one. Your phone freezes, your laptop crashes, your GPS sends you down a road that has not existed for 6 years. Those failures are inconvenient. When the system inside your car gets it wrong, the consequences are in a completely different category. False positives are not a hypothetical concern sitting somewhere in a future risk assessment document. They are already happening. Driver monitoring systems currently deployed in production vehicles have flagged alert, sober, fully capable drivers for eating behind the wheel, for singing along to the radio, for having a medical condition that affects eye movement. A driver in Texas reported that his 2024 Volvo XC90 repeatedly triggered drowsiness alerts during a perfectly normal highway commute because he was wearing polarized sunglasses that interfered with the eye tracking sensor. He was not drowsy. The system did not care. It flagged him anyway. Another driver posted on a Ford owner's forum, "My F-150's driver monitoring system kept alerting me for inattention every time I checked my mirrors. I was doing exactly what I was supposed to be doing. The system just couldn't tell the difference." Now scale that problem forward. Today, a false positive triggers an alert and maybe a warning buzz. Annoying. Potentially dangerous if it startles a driver at highway speed, but ultimately manageable. Under the full mandate, a false positive does not just buzz at you, it can prevent the vehicle from operating. You are sitting in a parking garage at 11 o'clock at night. The system misreads something. Your car will not start. You are not drunk. You are not impaired. You are stranded because an algorithm made a decision and there is no appeals process, no customer service line that fixes it in real time, and no override that does not involve a tow truck and a dealership appointment 3 days from now. The liability question has not been answered because nobody in Washington wants to answer it. If a system malfunction leaves a driver stranded on a highway shoulder in the dark, who is responsible? The automaker who built the hardware? The software company who wrote the algorithm? The federal government that mandated the system in the first place? A consumer rights attorney specializing in automotive defect litigation told Reuters, "We do not have a legal framework for this yet. The mandate is moving faster than the liability structure being built around it. When these failures start generating lawsuits at scale, the courts are going to be asked questions the legislature never bothered to answer. A single wrongful disable event, towing fees, storage charges, missed work, rental car costs, dispute resolution, runs between $500 and $2,000 before it is resolved, with no guarantee of reimbursement, and no guarantee it will not happen again the next morning." History has a pattern that almost nobody pays attention to until it is too late. Every system of control that has ever been embedded into daily life followed the same arc. It started with a reasonable justification. It expanded quietly, and by the time the full scope became visible, removing it was described as dangerous, expensive, and irresponsible. The impairment detection mandate is following that RC right now, in real time, and the next steps are not speculation. They are already being discussed in the same legislative and corporate corridors that produced Section 24,220. Speed limiters are the first logical extension. The technology required to cap a vehicle's speed based on its GPS location and local posted speed limit data already exists. It is already being piloted in commercial fleet vehicles across Europe. The European Union has mandated intelligent speed assistance in all new vehicles sold there since July 2024. The infrastructure being built into American vehicles under the impairment mandate uses the same GPS and software architecture. Adding speed limiting capability is not an engineering leap. It is a software update. One policy decision away from becoming the next section, 24,220. Geofencing comes directly after that. A vehicle that knows where it is can be programmed to refuse operation in specific geographic areas. School zones, protest locations, areas under emergency declaration. The technology does not require new hardware in a car that already has GPS, behavioral monitoring, and a disable function built in. It requires a list of coordinates and a policy decision. A constitutional law professor at Georgetown University told the Washington Post, "Once you have established the legal precedent that a vehicle can be prevented from operating based on an algorithmic assessment, the question of what triggers that assessment becomes entirely a policy question. And policy questions change with administrations." Insurance companies are already moving into this space without waiting for a mandate. Usage-based insurance programs are collecting driving behavior data from millions of American vehicles right now. State Farm, Progressive, Allstate. The opt-in framing is becoming opt-out. And as monitoring systems become federally mandated hardware in every new car, the firewall between your vehicle's internal data and your insurance premium will not hold. A senior actuary at a major insurance underwriter, speaking anonymously to Insurance Journal, said it plainly. Real-time behavioral data is the most accurate pricing input we have ever had access to. We are going to use it. Your escape routes are closing systematically. Emissions regulations are pushing older vehicles off the road. Parts availability for pre-2010 cars is tightening every year. The used car market is being compressed from both ends. You will not be forced into a monitored vehicle overnight. You will simply wake up one day and discover that every realistic option on every lot you can afford plays by exactly the same rules. The window is still open, but it is closing faster than most people realize, and the buyers who understand what is coming are already making moves. Pre-2026 vehicles are quietly becoming the most strategically valuable cars on the market. Not because they are newer, not because they are flashier, because they represent the last generation of vehicles without federally mandated surveillance hardware built into the cabin. A clean 2022 Toyota Camry, a 2021 Honda CR-V, a 2022 Mazda CX-5, solid reliability, strong resale history, no mandatory monitoring architecture, and available right now at a significant discount versus new. A used car analyst at IC Cars told Automotive News, "We are already seeing a quiet premium developing on pre-mandate model years in certain segments. Buyers who understand the regulatory timeline are making very deliberate choices." Before you walk into any dealership, new or used, ask 4 questions by name. Does this vehicle have a driver monitoring system installed? Can it be disabled through the vehicle settings? Who has contractual access to the data it collects? And what happens to that data if I sell the car? Get the answers in writing. If the finance manager cannot answer those questions clearly, that is your answer. Finance through a credit union, not through the dealership. Dealer-arranged financing connects you to a lender who has a commercial relationship with that data infrastructure from day one. A credit union has one relationship, with you. The broader truth underneath all of this is simple. The monitoring mandate is not the disease, it is the symptom. The disease is a system that has spent decades making decisions about your vehicle, your financing, and your data without ever asking for your input. The only protection that has ever worked against that system is walking in knowing exactly what they know before they know you do not. Section 24220 is 4 digits buried inside a bill most Americans never read. But what those 4 digits authorized is not small. It is a complete restructuring of the relationship between a driver and the machine they drive. The cameras, the sensors, the behavioral algorithms, the data pipeline, the remote disable capability. None of it was on the ballot. None of it will be explained at the dealership. And none of it is coming back out once it goes in. The question the source script ends on is the right one, sharpened down to its core. Who decides when you are allowed to drive? Right now, today, the answer is still you. By 2027, for every new car sitting on every lot in America, the answer will be a piece of software running on a server you will never see, governed by a policy you never voted for, monetized by a company you have never heard of. Download my free ebook, Avoid These 17 Cars, in 2026. It covers the specific models already carrying the most aggressive monitoring systems, what to look for before you sign, and the depreciation data that shows which vehicles hold value as the mandate rolls out. Link is in the description. The kill switch is already in the law. Do not let it end up in your car.